Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into the story of Jacob, a guy who, let's be honest, lied, cheated, and pretty much stole his way to the top. So that brings us to a really big question, right? How can someone who is so deeply flawed end up fulfilling such a great purpose? We're going to explore this through the epic story of Jacob, because his life, wow, it's just this incredible journey of faith, deception, and in the end, this profound transformation. I mean, this is the guy who literally wrestled with God. We're going to follow his path from being this cunning trickster on the run for his life to becoming the father of a whole nation. It's a story that really makes you stop and think about our own ideas of what's fair and what's meant to be. All right, so let's get into it. Jacob's story kicks off with conflict before he's even born. Seriously, his mother, Rebecca, gets this divine prophecy, and it's a bombshell. She's got two nations in her womb, and the older twin, he's going to serve the younger one. This just completely flips the script on how things were supposed to work back then. And you can see how this family dynamic just sets the stage for all the drama. The twins were polar opposites. You've got Esau, the rugged, outdoorsy guy, total dad's favorite. And then there's Jacob, the quiet one who hangs out at home, mom's favorite for sure. This favoritism, it was like pouring gasoline on a fire. It sparked this bitter rivalry right from the very beginning. Sir Jacob, fueled by his own ambition and, with a little push from his mom, decides to take matters into his own hands. It happens in two big moves. First, he totally takes advantage of his brother being starving and trades a simple bowl of stew for the birthright, which was a huge deal, a position of massive honor. And then he pulls off this incredibly elaborate scam to steal the final, super important blessing from his blind father. You can just feel the tension in this scene, right? Their blind father, Isaac, is suspicious. He says, the voice sounds like Jacob, but the hands feel like Esau. He can hear one thing, but when he touches the goat skins on Jacob's arms, he feels something else. And in the end, he trusts his sense of touch. And just like that, he gives away this powerful, can't-take-it-back blessing. So of course, Esau comes back and finds out what happened, and he is absolutely devastated. That grief just boils over into pure rage, and he promises he's going to kill his brother. So Jacob got what he wanted, the blessing, but it cost him everything. He's lost his home, he's lost his safety, and now he's literally running for his life. Jacob's escape is just the beginning of this long, long exile. And here's where we see a bit of cosmic irony, right? The tables are completely turned. He runs to his uncle Laban's place, and for the next 20 years, the master deceiver gets a taste of his own medicine. But on his way there, something incredible happens. He's totally alone, completely vulnerable, sleeping outside with a rock for a pillow, and he has his first direct encounter with God. He has this vision, this dream of a stairway to heaven, and he gets this powerful promise. It's basically God confirming that the blessing he stole, well, it's actually part of the divine plan. Those 20 years in Haran were a lot. They were really transformative for him. He gets there, falls head over heels for Rachel, but then gets tricked on his own wedding night into marrying her older sister, Leah. Talk about a deception in the dark that kind of mirrors his own, right? He ends up working tirelessly, building this huge family and becoming super wealthy, all while having to deal with the constant scheming of his uncle Laban. Yeah, for 2 whole decades, the guy who tricked his own brother and father found out exactly what it feels like to be on the other side of the con. You could say it was a long, hard lesson in cause and effect. Okay, so after 20 years, God tells Jacob it's time to go home. And this really sets up the climax of his whole journey. But first, he has to face Esau, the brother he betrayed all those years ago. And the night before that reunion, something really strange and life-changing happens. And Jacob is absolutely terrified. I mean, he hears Esau is coming to meet him with 400 men. That sounds like an army, not a welcome party. He sends his family, all his stuff, everything he has, across the river, basically bracing for the worst. And then, in the pitch dark, all by himself, this mysterious man appears and just starts wrestling with him. And they go at it all night long, right until sunrise. During this insane struggle, Jacob's hip gets dislocated. He's seriously injured, but he will not let go. Think about the difference here. As a young man, he tricked and schemed his way into a blessing. Now, he's wounded, he's exhausted, but he's clinging on through the pain, demanding a blessing. And his opponent, this mysterious figure, gives him a new name, A name that completely redefines who he is. Israel. It means one who struggles with God. He's not Jacob the supplanter anymore. His entire identity is now wrapped up in this struggle. He comes out of it wounded, for sure, but he also comes out of it blessed. And what's amazing is that right after this huge internal transformation, the external problem just resolves itself in a way Jacob could have never predicted. The reunion he was dreading turns into this incredible moment of grace. Esau, the brother who swore he'd kill him, runs to him, throws his arms around him, and they just reconcile right there after 20 years of being estranged. So this brings us to the final chapter of his life. Jacob, who is now called Israel, settles back in the Promised Land. And here he really steps into his role as the patriarch, the head of the family that is about to become a nation. But the family drama is not over, not by a long shot. And in a really painful case of history repeating itself, Jacob's own favoritism toward his son Joseph sparks this terrible jealousy among his other sons. This conflict leads to them selling Joseph into slavery. Jacob grieves for years, thinking his son is dead, before a huge famine forces the family to Egypt, where they have this dramatic emotional reunion. And now we get this incredible full-circle moment. Before he dies, the man who once stole a blessing now gets to give them. He calls all 12 of his sons together and gives each of them a prophecy, basically laying out the future for the tribes of Israel. He gives powerful blessings to some, like Judah and Joseph, but he also calls out others, like Simeon and Levi, for their violent past. Just think about the arc of his life. It started with him on the run, a fugitive from his own family, and it ends with him being mourned as this huge national figure, the celebrated father of the 12 tribes. He's buried with honor in the Promised Land, right alongside his father Isaac and his grandfather Abraham. So what does Jacob's journey really teach us? I think his story is this powerful reminder that our worst moments don't have to define us. His journey from a conniving trickster to someone who genuinely struggles with God, it shows that a life that's full of flaws and mistakes and big regrets can still be part of a much, much greater purpose.